It's time for the Engaged Club, the podcast for club managers and operators that strive to create loyal and connected members, guests, and customers. Here are the two guys with the club management and digital marketing advice you need to realize your club's potential. Jim Hope and Roger Kincaid.
Hey, it's great to be back for another episode of The Engaged Club. I'm Roger Kincaid. I am the marketing guy from Off Course Golf. You can see us online at offcourse.golf.
And I'm Jim Hope, and I'm the GM of the Derrick Golf and Winter Club. And Mr. Kincaid, it's our pleasure to announce that the Engaged Club podcast is supported by the Canadian Society of Club Managers. Very excited to be able to say that.
Absolutely. It's a delight for us to be able to say that. We're going to be working very closely with the CSCM to provide some very valuable content, not just to their constituents, but to all club managers. And we'll be able to offer some unique perspectives and help out in some different ways. So our thanks very much for the kind support of the Canadian Society of Club Managers.
You bet. And I can't wait to maybe interview Suzanne Godbey here, the CEO of the CSCM, or some other of our fellow members of the Canadian Society of Club Managers. It's going to be neat to interview some of those folks. And what would you like to talk about today, Roger?
Well, this one comes to us in the mailbag, actually, Jim. And anybody can reach out to us in a couple of different ways. You can email us hello@engagedclub.com, or you can go to engagedclub.com and join our Slack channel there. It's an open community Slack channel, and you can ask any questions. So today's question is, should I buy Facebook posts? And so I'm going to tackle this one today, Jim, because there are services out there that will offer you videos or, memes or pictures that you can purchase and then just go ahead and post them on your Facebook page from your club. And they're kind of billed as being like, out of the box, real easy solution. Hey, if you're having a hard time managing your Facebook page or putting together a Facebook strategy, you can just buy these videos or these memes or these pictures or whatever and slap them up there, and bingo, bango, bongo, you've got yourself a Facebook feed.
Oh, I get it. So I'm just buying generic stuff and trying to call it my own when I post it. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? So it might be like a picture of the Three Stooges playing golf, and it says, hey, golf is fun. Come out and play some golf with us here at our club, right? And Jim, this is actually a really bad idea. Not only is this a waste of your money, it's actually a waste of your entire Facebook strategy. If you started to go down this path, you'd start to notice that Facebook's going to punish you with their algorithm is going to make sure that your content doesn't get shown to very many people. So it actually gives you a negative return. It would be better for you to do nothing at all, as opposed to purchase these videos and these memes and pictures and stuff like that.
Isn't that kind of showing you're probably a little bit lazy too, the people that are looking at it? It would be like showing pictures of your food, but it's canned pictures that you're buying off the internet as opposed to the actual food that you're producing in your kitchen. Is that... Am I right with that sort of line of thought?
I think that's a great point. I mean, tell me what's generic about your club? Right. Nothing. Your club's got an attitude. It's got a brand. It's got a family, a community. It's got people, and that's what you should be showcasing on your Facebook page. I mean, we talk about that all the time, but let's sort of look at why Facebook wants you to not do this specifically. So over a year ago now, Facebook announced some major changes to what their newsfeed is going to do. And what they were looking at was something called passive content. They want people's time on Facebook to be well spent. Think about it from Facebook's business perspective, Jim. It's just like your club, right? You want people to come there. You want people to enjoy themselves there. You want people to stay at your club for a long time, right? You want them to play golf and then stay for dinner. Well, it's the same thing with Facebook. What they want is for people to come to the site, see valuable and engaging stuff in the newsfeed, and like it and stay there for a long time. And so what they said they're going to do is they're going to start to demote what's called passive content. It's the type of post that people are really just meant to look at and move on. They don't really engage with it. They don't interact with it. And so conversely, what they were going to promote was content that asks a question, that has a conversation around it. So now think, Jim, to all of the maybe politics stories or sports stories that pop up in your newsfeed. They've usually got like 50 or 70 or 100 comments on them, right?
Yep. Okay.
It's because those are the engaging ones. They don't have 50 or 100 likes necessarily. And often they do. They have thousands of likes. But it's the fact that they've got dozens or even hundreds of comments that gets them, wider exposure in people's news feeds. So that's ultimately what we're going for here. So when we post to Facebook, we don't want to post a generic video that really doesn't mean anything for our club. What we really want to post is something that asks a question, that engages our reader, and that really kind of encourages them to like it, share it, and comment on it.
Yeah, and to Facebook's defense, and who am I to defend Facebook? But I think what they're saying is that the more you invest in them, the more they're prepared to invest in you and promote you, right? And if you don't want to be lazy about what you're doing, they'll be lazy about trying to get people to come and see you. So that sounds fair. And I think, to your point, I think the viewer or the person looking at what you're doing will know that when you put some effort into this, and this is really, you're talking about you and what's unique about your club, as opposed to, as you say, just something generic that hell anybody could be doing.
Right. Now, there's another thing that Facebook's algorithm is going to do. If it sees different people posting the same thing, the same content, it's going to basically figure that this is really low quality. It's kind of spammy, and it won't promote that in people's newsfeed. So think about that, Jim. If you go and buy some videos or some posts from somebody because you think you're going to be promoting your Facebook page, and 100 other clubs do the exact same thing, well, Facebook's algorithm is going to notice these 100 clubs that are posting this picture of the Three Stooges, and it'll say, somebody's spamming our Facebook walls with this picture of the Three Stooges. We're not going to show it. And so,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you'll kind of incur a penalty that way.
Okay. Similar to what happened with the election in 2016, the U.S. election.
Well, you know what? It's a really interesting thing, right? Because a lot of these algorithm changes on Facebook's news feed were in response to what was going on during the election in 2016. So they tried to learn something about the whole, fake news, and you can interpret fake news however you like here. I'm not taking a side, but they tried to learn something from that, and they want the Facebook feed, news feed now, for people to be a place where they can enjoy the time that they spend there and be more engaged with the content that they're looking at. So, Jim, when we bring this back to the question in the email, should I buy Facebook posts like videos and content that I can post on my Facebook page? It's a really, really strict no. It actually will have negative returns for you. So don't even consider it. The best thing that you can do is work with your team to establish what we call a content calendar. We've talked about this in past episodes, and we're actually linked to them in the show notes of this particular episode at engagedclub.com/67. Okay, so you can just go engagedclub.com/ and then number 67, and you'll get the show notes from this episode, and you'll see the links to that strategy about how you can plan your entire year of Facebook in one day. That is the best way forward for you.
Awesome. So you're kind of saying you're further ahead not to do anything than you are to go out and just take generic content and post it up on your newsfeed or up on your site on Facebook.
Yeah. Jim, I mean, I can't stress it enough. I really discourage this sort of, it's sort of like stock pictures on a website. They don't do you any good, right? Purchasing content that's not original for your club to run on social media, particularly Facebook, it is not a good idea for you. It's not going to give you the returns that you're hoping for.
Yeah, it's like anything, Roger. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it, right? So put lots into it and you'll get lots out of it.
You got it. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Engage Club podcast. Please, by all means, share it, but not necessarily on your Facebook page. Maybe share it with them by email.
There you go. Email's good.
And we'll catch you on a future episode of the Engage Club. Thanks for listening.
This has been the Engaged Club podcast with Jim Hope and Roger Kincaid. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with your fellow club managers and operators. Until next time, thanks for listening.